All right, perfect. So let me just make sure that we are. All right, perfect. Hi, welcome to One Simple Change. My name is Robin, certified nutrition specialist, and we're going to talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about. And so when it comes to One Simple Change, and I'll just say this, we believe when you flood your body with key nutrients, then that makes such a difference. And today we're really going to focus on a specific nutrient that people don't talk about that much, but it's something that our bodies really, really need. Specifically, what we're going to talk about are omega fatty acids, right? So, just as most people don't consume enough fruits and vegetables daily, they're also lacking in omega fatty acids. It's an issue because omega fatty acids are as important to your health as fruits and vegetables. People often hear mostly about omega 3s, but they don't make the connection of how significant they are in the body. And so, as we talk about this, you'll also hear from some others who take omegas, and you'll get to see how it has benefited them firsthand. So there are over 10,000 medical journal studies that show that omega fatty acids have helped just about every organ in the body stay healthier, especially your brain, your eyes, and your heart. Studies have shown that people who have the highest blood levels of omegas live healthier, happier, and longer lives than those with the lowest. Imagine that. This is the one simple change that we're going to talk about today. So again, as you hear these stories, just take it all in. Some of them are super inspiring. So the benefit of omegas is heart circulation. We all need our hearts and want our hearts to run. Brain health, your eyes, your skin, and the joints. So if you have any of those or you want any of those to function, you should be taking omegas, as well as flooding your body with lots of fruits and vegetables. So that was my quick introduction. I want to just take some time to hear from some others who flood their bodies with omegas, and hopefully you'll hear something that inspires you, because ultimately this is something that you want to add into your diet. Now, you can get omegas from different food sources, and we all know that our food sources or our food is not as high quality as we would want it to be. So oftentimes people supplement with omegas, and you hear mostly about fish oil, right? And there's actually another way. There is a way to get your omega blend from plants. When this way, we bypass the middle fish and go straight to the fish's source, which is the algae. So that's where the omegas come from, is the algae. And we know right now with fishing and the environment and mercury and toxins and all of that, if you can get it straight from a plant source, that is better for the body. The more plants you put in your body, the better. So with that being said, I'm going to call a couple of my friend guests, and they're going to share with us their experience with taking omegas. And I want to say this to you, as you hear their stories, just know that we're not saying anything that treats any specific diseases or ailments. We're just saying that this is what is their experience from flooding their body with all plant-based omegas. All right. So is Asia there?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know you're on the other side of the time zone, so we know that you got to go to bed soon. So thank you, Asia. So share with us how long you've been taking all plant-based omegas and what you've noticed by doing so.
Yes, I would love to. So thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Robin, for having me. This is really an honor. For me, I've actually been taking plant-based omegas for the last 2-ish years, and it's made a really cool impact in my health and on my body. So I'm a personal trainer. I'm a certified exercise physiologist. So functionally, I do a personal training. So I'm very in tune with my body, and I train others to keep their bodies healthy. So from an education standpoint, I have a lot of knowledge in regards to why plant-based nutrition is beneficial, which is why I decided to switch to omegas, the vegan omega that Robin's talking about, vegan omega. So for me personally, when I switched over, one of the first things that I noticed was actually more of a sharpness of my brain and of my thinking. And it's funny because one of my friends, we were sitting in a conference, and typically we have these annual conferences. Typically I'm sitting and I'm fidgeting around and I'm moving and I'm really struggling to focus. But actually she noticed, since taking the omega, she's like, wow, you're able to actually focus. Like, she can tell that I was focusing for longer periods of time. So that was one of an outsider's perspective looking in, that was pretty cool. And then fast forward to, I'm an athlete. So as a trainer, and I do some pickup soccer, and I played rugby at my university's D1 rugby. So I had a lot of injuries. So having more of a plant-based omega has actually helped me recover from my injuries. And sometimes you don't know how valuable something is until you lose it. And I noticed that. So I actually ran out of my omegas. This was a couple weeks ago. And I just wasn't thinking. It was a really crazy season of life, and I had a lot of things going on. You know, we're all really busy. So I ended up running out of these omegas, and I started just feeling really sore. And so I had multiple shoulder surgeries. And this more recent one gives me a little bit of problems here and there, but typically it's okay. But it was just really, it was painful. It was way more painful than typical. And my workouts didn't change, as well as, just day-to-day stuff that I was doing didn't change. So I realized not taking the omegas, actually, I had more inflammation in my joints. So some of the older injuries kind of flared up. So I noticed that, as well as cognitively, I was just more tired. I felt like instead of like 5G, let's say if we were functioning on 5G, I was more like on a 3G level. So those are some of the most significant things that I've noticed taking the plant-based omegas. The last thing I'll talk about is my eyes. I have an astigmatism in my eye, in my left eye, I believe. Yeah, left eye. And so they actually were able to change my contact prescription based on me taking these omegas. That was the only thing that I changed in the last 2 years in regards to my diet and exercise. Wow. So I think that was pretty cool.
That is awesome. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm inspired. I take my omegas every day. I totally do. So thank you so much, Asia. And we're going to have Elizabeth. Are you there? I see one of my other Elizabeths.
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Here I am.
Awesome, Elizabeth. So if you could share your experience with the all plant-based omegas and what you've noticed by taking them.
Oh, it's my privilege to share with you all. And it's good to see my friend Elizabeth from Maryland on this Zoom call tonight too. I know it's kind of late, but here we go. My journey has to do with first being prescribed fish oil about back in 2004 when I became very ill with autoimmune issues. And I took fish oil for years, burps, bad, but I mean, top of the line. I mean, if I named the brand, my endocrinologist had done research and recommended this fish oil to me. Well, I started reading about contamination with mercury and things like that being in the fish and then being in the fish oil. And then also started thinking about all this fish oil sitting in warehouses. And when it gets hot, you know how oil gets rancid? And I thought, unless it's cold storage, how do I know that I'm getting the quality? So I switched myself to a plant-based omega that I bought from a local nutrition store that you all would recognize the national name of. And I bought their best plant-based one and tried it, and I did not miss the fish burps. However, when Juice Plus, I didn't want to say that, but when our company that we partner with came out with a plant-based that they had done research and development on for 8 years, I switched over to those. And I have to tell you, the first thing that I noticed was I no longer was spending time asking my husband to help me find my car keys or my glasses that I need for reading. I quit misplacing things. And the other dramatic improvement that I saw was my word recall. You know how sometimes you are struggling to find the right word to express yourself. Well, that doesn't happen to me anymore. And so those have really changed dramatically because I got more time back. I'm no longer looking for things I've misplaced. And bothering my husband about that too. And I've just noticed an improvement in my skin tone. I can have more of a plant glow. So, and my nails are stronger. So those are my stories that I'm sticking to.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. It's again, if y'all do not take omegas and you're listening to this in the plant-based omegas, I'll put this in here. I will have a couple of more guests share. But the person that invited you has the goods, the access to these special plant-based omegas. So make sure that you connect with them. Sherry, are you there? Thank
I
you,
am
Elizabeth.
here.
Awesome. So people are chiming in on the chat saying they love their omegas. So Sherry, tell us tell us your experience with omegas.
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name's Sherry Gerber, and I've been taking the plant powders for 15 years, and I'm not someone that ever really took vitamins or supplements. And so for years I saw these people taking fish oil, and there was just something about fish oil that didn't make sense to me. It just grossed me out. So I actually don't even cook with oil. So for me to add an oil to my diet of any kind wasn't something I ever really thought I would do. But fast forward, and our company, spent a lot of time putting the best, ingredients together for these plant-based omegas. And I also am that person that, does the ground up flaxseed and really tries to get my omegas for my diet. So I didn't really think I was deficient in omegas. But I thought if I'm going to be recommending these omegas to other people, I need to have my own experience. And so I guess it's been about 3 years ago when they came onto the market, and I started taking them every day. First of all, I loved the way they tasted. It kind of tastes like an orange sickle. And I loved that I could put it on my skin, because I'm a real believer that anything you put on your skin, you should be able to eat. And I can't imagine putting fish oil on my skin. That just seems so gross. So honest to God, in about 6 months, okay, I already have really thick, strong hair. And I've been wearing my hair shorter, because before the omegas, my hair was down to my butt. I had really long hair. And my hair started growing so much faster. Instead of going every 7 to 8 weeks, I have to go every 5 to 6 weeks to get my hair colored, because I do have gray hair. This isn't my natural color. And that was something my hairdresser noticed as well. I mean, my hair just wasn't breaking off, and it just was growing so fast. And the only thing I had done was add those omegas. And then I also noticed that for the first time in my life, I had really strong, healthy nails. I never had that. And then I also recently had to get my first pair of reading glasses. I'm in my mid 40s, and it's time. And I had my eyes examined, and she just commented on how healthy they were. I know that has a lot to do with getting the omega. So even if you're someone that thinks like you're getting everything you need, I personally, honest to God, had a noticeable difference after just adding the omegas after taking the other plant-based powders for so many years.
Wow.
So,
Thank you for that. All right, 2 more, and then we'll open up for any questions that you all may have. But Kaya, I said it right. Kaya, where are you? Hi, Kaya.
Thank you, Robin. I'm excited.
You're welcome.
You guys.
Yeah, so this is so funny. I wanted to find stories about the omegas, and I found so many stories, because I usually try to just have a couple, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing story. That's amazing story. And so your story was like, oh my goodness, come tell us, share this. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you, Robin. So I would love to know, does anybody here have kids or have little kids, or just have kids in general? Are you guys moms?
I have a kid, but I don't want to talk about her.
Okay, well, okay. So, whether or not you have children, I know that you have all, even if you haven't experienced it, you've all heard of mom brain, whether or not you've personally experienced it. So I have 3 kids, and they now are 8 and almost 6-year-old twins. And, when you hear about mom brain and the lack of sleep and all of that, but it's something that you really can't prepare for. And you also, it's almost like it seems like an excuse, but they've actually realized that this is a real phenomenon it's a real thing. It's called postnatal depletion. So even if you don't have young children at all yourselves, you for sure, all of you know someone who's either pregnant, has a newborn, or has young children. So when we are pregnant, the way that nature works is that those babies suck all of our omegas out of our brains. We give it to them, we give them all, we give it all. That's what moms do. So, and it is also shown that it takes the moms 10 years to recoup their omegas naturally. So when new moms are feeling exhausted and lethargic and have a brain fog and can't remember where they put things and all of that, this is normal, and one of the things is because of this postnatal depletion and because of the omegas. So I absolutely experienced all of those things when my children were babies, and on top of those, I also lost tremendous amounts of hair. I mean, it was so thin up front. I felt like I was matching my babies. I was going bald. It was really scary. My fingernails that had always been very long and strong and healthy were breaking and brittle and just tearing off. I was always tired, but almost a different tired. Like, it didn't matter. Even if I drank, 2 or 3 cups of coffee, I was still exhausted. And then I would go to bed and I couldn't sleep. So when I introduced these plant-based omegas about 2.5 years ago, now I wish I had them when I was pregnant and when I was nursing newborns. I didn't, but I was introduced to them about 2.5 years ago. I know I've seen changes from them. My hair is growing so fast, and I know how quickly it's growing by how often, like Sherry, I have to go dye my roots. And my fingernails are really healthy and strong, and I sleep better than I have in years. I'm not drinking coffee anymore, which is also part of just this, changing my nutrition intakes and flooding my body with all of this whole food nutrition, the omegas and the plant powders included. And what I love is that we have the science that shows what this is doing, what these omegas are doing for our bodies and what this nutrition is doing. But my experiences are an outward sign. So I know from the science what I know that it's working. And then I get to see these things that are happening in my body. So I am having, visible results from adding this nutrition into my body. So it's something I will take forever. And I'm very grateful to have been introduced. And thank you, Robin.
You're welcome. But thank you for that, because I never knew. I mean, I'm a mom, and so we had other moms chiming in saying, I'm a mom of 5, I'm a mom of 3, and so everybody can relate to. We just thought we're just tired, and so thank you for that. That's super inspiring. I'm sure this will help other moms with that. And then we'll come back a little bit. But lastly, Debbie, where are you, Debbie? Are you there? We'll have you.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, I am.
Right.
I'm Debbie Saucy, and I was just a mom 3.5 years ago, kind of struggling to find something that my son would eat because he was a picky teenager and would not eat any vegetables. So I did find the plant powders, and we did add those in. And after you're in this community, you learn so much about the connection between what we eat and health and wellness and disease. So the more I learned, the more I just wanted more education. And I kept on hearing about these omegas, and I always thought that omegas were for old people. I don't know why. I just thought it was for old people. And I thought, oh, I don't need these. But then the more I learned about it, the more I knew that kids need them, babies need them, toddlers need them. My kids that are in college need them. And I need them. So I just started for me to just add those in too. And I am just so grateful. My son had actually a concussion a couple of years ago. And I'm grateful that he had those omegas in his body. And I'm glad that we could double up because they were plant-based, and that I'm sure that it aided with his recovery. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm just grateful that there is a plant-based omega out there that is high quality and that I can trust that I give it to my family. So thanks.
Awesome. I appreciate you all saying for the children, because I literally haven't thought to give my daughter the omegas. And since right now our kids are in home doing school, they too could use some extra for focus. So I literally, when we get off, I'm going to go make her, actually, I totally am going to make her take the omegas. Totally. So I thank you guys. We're going to, all 3 of my kids, so someone said all 3 of her kids take the omegas. Awesome. I encourage you all that are listening to, again, contact the person that invited you here. Oh, a person said that their 14-year-old nephew's acne went away after starting the omegas. That is wonderful. The omegas are they're very high quality. And I'm going to say this, they're really, really affordable. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. So contact the person that invited you here. Our whole community really focuses on plant-based, whole food, top quality nutrition. So you heard some people mentioning plant powders. So we have omegas, and then we also have plant powders. So we're just really about flooding our bodies with the goods, right? So that we can live as vibrant as possible. So before I cut this off, does anyone have any questions, or anybody want to chime in before we head out? Oh, my hormonal blemishes went away too. I'm reading from the chat. Sometimes you forget about things before they're gone. Yeah. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Any questions from any visitor?
I would love to share one more thing with you guys, and I didn't think of this until right now, but my daughter is 8 years old, and she got glasses when she was 4, and she's been taking the omegas since we got them. And of course, she's been wearing the glasses, and we've been doing, a vision therapy where she would patch one eye because one was stronger than the other. So over 4 years, her vision has improved so tremendously. Her weak eye was at a 70 when she first started wearing glasses. Now it's at a 25.
Wow.
And she's, of course, the glasses and the patching is a big part of it, but she's been taking the omegas as well. And initially she didn't like the taste, so I mixed them in with either like yogurt or a little bit of honey.
Mm-hmm.
And she would tolerate it, and she didn't like it, but she tolerated it. And then she just decided one day, she's like, Mama, I want to eat these. I want to try it plain. And I said, okay, if you're ready, if this is what you want to do. And she's okay, I don't like the way it smells, but I'm going to do this. And she's literally every day she takes her omegas. And the twins, I never tried to force them, but they were watching their sister, and they're like, I want one, I want a capsule. And they never even needed it mixed with anything. And they eat it off the spoon, all 3 of them, every single day. Or I make a little slit with a knife, and they literally squeeze it into their mouth and just suck the oil right out.
Which brings me up to a topic. So they don't swallow the capsule. You literally take the oil out and give it to them, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I love to chew them. I don't know if it's just me, because this, for people that are listening, it's a capsule, and it tastes, there's nothing fishy about it. It's like a little orangey taste, like an orangey oil taste. But I personally love to chew them. Some people think I'm crazy, but I love to chew them. So you can swallow them whole, you can chew them, or you can, like you said, open it up and let your children take it that way. I also heard people saying that they open the capsules and they rub them on their skin under their eyes. I've heard women say that. So yeah, the chat is like blowing up with people saying what they're doing with their omega. So there's different options, but what's not there is any nasty fishy taste. that's what is not there. So that's very, very powerful. All right, any other questions or comments? Thank you all so much. So excited. I literally am about to go get my girl and have her take some of these. She's 15, so we're like, but this is what she's going to take these omegas. Anything else before we go? You're welcome, everybody. I'm going to.
This has been so good, Robin.